Alrighty guys, testing out this new mic. And just got back from the Bassmaster Classic and I had tons of fun. It was a great experience. Texas Boat World invited me over to film their content and do same-day editing for their social medias. At the same time, I got to spend some time with Stenson and John Garrett to fish their takeoff and all the B-roll that they needed for their launching and etc. Then I made my way over to Expo, had lots of fun, got some B-roll for Texas Boat World, stopped by many of the other booths, Bass Cat, Bexus, Skeeter and Camus, and continue to get some more B-roll. But on the way there, I visited the Newport vessel guys, and they're really cool. I actually met Josh and one of the brand managers at the weigh-in shortly after the Expo show, and they're great people over there. But I wanted to talk about, after my great experience and just checking out the scene in Texas and Fort Worth, man, it's amazing. And it's such a small, tight niche community where, it's like everybody was so friendly to me. And on my way to weigh-in for day one, there was two people waiting outside in front of the Omni Hotel, and one of them asked me, hey, have you seen any of the buses? Because there's supposed to be a bus that takes all the guests over from the Expo and the hotel to Dickey's Arena for the Bassmaster Classic weigh-in. And I was like, oh, I haven't seen any yet so far, but I think so. And he was like, well, can you give me a ride? And I was like, well, yeah, sure, as long as you don't kill me. And it ended up being Matt Aries' parents. And that was so cool to me, is that everybody was almost like a team. The girlfriend arrived. As I was saying, so they ended up being Matt Aries' parents. And so, like, there's a built trust inside the fishing community, in the Bassmaster community. It's like we help each other as much as we can. And it was such a positive atmosphere, and it was very cool to meet Matt Aries' parents, giving him a ride and everything. Hi. Hi, my love. Are you gonna get ready for the gym? So yeah, I met Matt Aries' parents, and I gave him a ride to the weigh-in. It was kind of embarrassing because I had all like my fast food and like hydration drinks, trash everywhere in the front seat. So he actually rode in the back of the car. He rode in the back of the car, kind of like I was their Uber driver. But like I said, like, this Bassmaster community is super friendly and positive. Shortly after, coming back and just, I took a little break, took one day break. I came back on Sunday, flew in back from Texas Fort Worth, came home around 10 or 11 a.m. and then just spent some time with the girlfriend and dog. And we ended up going to the LA Historic Park in downtown LA, or in Chinatown, and just relaxed, take a nap. My girlfriend read a book, I walked my dog and everything. Well, today is the next day, and I was browsing social media, and it's like, I see all these negative clickbait videos from various YouTubers, and it's like the three most disliked things about the Bassmaster Classic, or like this needs to change, or top 10 things that I've found out, or details about the Bassmaster Classic. And, you know, obviously I clicked on them because they're such clickbait. They're so intriguing to kind of watch. But I knew what I was going to watch, and that was just negativity. And it's really a bummer. Easton Fothergill, very young angler, went from, you know, the high school to the college to the Elite Series. He spent some time, you know, earning his way up to the Elite Series and to the Classic. And you see these comments and these videos just ripping on how he was using forward-facing sonar, and like people shouldn't even watch the Bassmaster Classic anymore, and or they tuned into the wrong video that had more of like a discussion panel over some B-roll, and so they complained about that. They're like, "What kind of video is this?" Well, you guys, you clicked on the wrong video. It wasn't the actual live Bassmaster Classic for day 3. It was actually a different video that they thought it was a good idea to, you know, discuss all what was happening during day 3 as kind of like a highlight video or overview video. But I wanted to bring this up is this guy's a kid trying to build up his career, and he worked his way there. He went from all the way to the junior league to the Elite Series and earned his way up to the Classic. Why are people tearing him down? What has the world come to where there's people just ripping on kids these days? You got Trey McKinney, Easton Fothergill, and several other young anglers that are just great at this sport. Whether the sport's changing or not, where are these people's values that are just commenting and hating on all these kids that are coming up, that are now men, but they're still young, and you guys are just making it way harder for their careers, just ripping on them. And so, you know, myself, I took a little break from fishing, and what I realized is at the point where I was negative, where I found myself the most negative in fishing, and I stepped back, I realized something. I realized that I needed to step back from the fishing community to really, really figure out what I was missing out on. And so I took a huge break from tournament fishing and creating content. And I worked a lot. I jumped 100% into my field of work, which is cinematography and videography and photography. And when I came back, I just felt so relieved. I felt at peace. There was no negativity in my mind when I came back. And I showed up to the award ceremony and the captain's meeting, to the BAM trail at Clear Lake. And the community was so positive. Everybody was on the same page, and that was to catch fish any way possible through the toughest conditions. And I come to realize me stepping away from fishing was the greatest solution to come back into fishing with positive vibes, with something to actually make an impact in the fishing community. And the minute that I became negative in the past in the fishing community, I felt like stepping away from it was the greatest thing possible. because stepping away from it and coming back just made me realize that fishing and the fishing community is the greatest thing ever. Whether someone catches them on forward-facing sonar or not. And I feel like a lot of people need to do that in order to realize, dude, it ain't no big deal. It ain't no big deal. Forward-facing sonar or any negative aspect in fishing, like, it ain't no big deal. We came here because we love to catch bass, period. We love to catch bass, and we do anything to catch them. And when I was ready, I knew I was ready because I wanted to fish so bad, and I needed that break from fishing because my mind went sour, and I was stuck into all the politics and etc. You know, let all those political leaders argue amongst themselves. Let all those political leaders argue amongst themselves. We're not in here for the politics. We came here to catch bass. And that's my message, is that, you know, if you're battling negativity in your mind, or if you're battling politics in the fishing community, step away because maybe that's what you need. And realize that, you know, the best thing about fishing is catching them bass and keeping a positive mindset. And staying away from the politics, avoiding that as much as possible. Let's not bring politics into this wonderful community. Let's just fish on. And all those young people that are coming into the fishing community, support them and be a better example for them. Keep politics out of fishing and support the youth. They're the future of bass fishing. So yeah, that's what I learned a lot from this past weekend and from this whole month of coming back into fishing, is that I realized I needed to step back because all the politics was getting to me. And you know, for those of you that really have become negative from all this politics and fishing, maybe take a break and then come back and try to avoid involving yourself in the politics. And maybe you'll find happiness, like I did. And so I'm on my way to Clear Lake on Thursday, and I'll be fishing the No Limit Native Tournament, and we're gonna try to catch him. But till then, I hope you guys catch some bass, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.